The Tom Thumb Fairies. Once upon a time, there were some very small creatures called Tom Thumb Fairies. So small that you could easily hold 100 in the palm of your hand and hardly feel any weight. They lived in some little red toadstools in Toadstool Village on the borders of Fairyland. The toadstools were small enough, goodness knows, but the fairies were so tiny that each toadstool was as big as a house to them. So they hung curtains at the windows in the top, and had a little door in the stalk with a knocker and a letterbox, just as you have. Now one night there came a band of red goblins creeping round Toadstool Village. It was a dark night, and there were so many clouds that not even the stars gave their faint light. The goblin chief gave a signal, and at once 2 goblins went to each toadstool house, opened the door, and captured the small sleeping fairy inside the bedroom at the top of the toadstool. Nobody heard them squeal. Nobody heard them struggle. They were popped into bags and taken off to Goblin Town at once, there to wait on the goblins and help them with their spells. Their wings were clipped off so that they could not fly home. The wings grew again in a few weeks' time, but every time they grew, the goblins clipped them off again. The Tom Thumb Fairies were very unhappy. "What shall we do?" they wept. "We hate working underground all day long. We hate these red goblins who are so unkind. We don't know the way home. We have no wings to fly with." One day, one of the Tom Thumb Fairies found a wormhole leading up to the sunlight. She was overjoyed, and she whispered the news to the others. "One morning, when the goblins have gone off somewhere, we will creep up this wormhole and escape," said the fairy. "But the goblins will come after us," said the others. "We shan't know which way to go when we go up to the daylight again." "Never mind," said the first one. "We will see what we can do." So the next time the red goblins went off together, leaving the Tom Thumb Fairies to do all the work, the tiny creatures began to make their way up the wormhole. It was very small, but they were smaller still. Soon they came to the worm, and they could not get by, for the worm was fat and lay squeezed up in its bedroom, a large part of the hole, halfway down the passage. "Please move up a bit," said one of the Tom Thumbs, poking the worm. "We want to get by." The worm moved up its hole. It put out its head and listened, for it had no eyes to see with. Was any sharp-eyed bird about? No, it could hear no pattering of feet. So it drew itself right up and let the fairies use its rather slimy hole as a passage up to the daylight. How pleased the Tom Thumbs were when they saw the bright sunshine again. "Now, we must plan what to do," they cried. "Get back into your hole," shouted a fairy to the worm. "The red goblins may come after us. Don't you move out of your hole for them, or they will catch us." "There are plenty of other holes for the red goblins to come up by," said the worm, sliding back again. "There's the mouse hole just over there, and the big rabbit hole in the hedge, and any amount of empty wormholes too." "Oh dear," said the Tom Thumbs, looking round as if they expected to see the red goblins at any moment. "We had better find a hiding place in case they come. Where can we go?" There were pink-tipped daisies about, much bigger than the Tom Thumb Fairies. There was a large dandelion plant too, with great golden blossoms. "I will hide you," said the dandelion in a soft, silky voice. "You are so tiny that you could each slip under one of my many golden petals. Hurry now, for I can hear the red goblins coming." In a trice, the Tom Thumbs had run to the large dandelion, which spread its hundreds of soft petals to the sun. Each fairy lifted up a silken petal and slipped underneath. There they hid in safety, whilst the red goblins suddenly appearing from the mouse hole, began to hunt for the Tom Thumbs. "They must be somewhere about," shouted the chief one. "Hunt well, all of you." Well, they hunted, and they hunted, but no one thought of looking into the dandelion head. There the Tom Thumbs hid, and didn't make a movement for fear of being found. "Well, goblins, we must get back to our home underground," said the chief at last. "But you, Gobbo, and you, Fifo, and you, Huggo, stay up here and keep watch in case those Tom Thumbs are hiding anywhere." The goblins went back down the mouse hole, but Gobbo, Fifo, and Huggo stayed behind, their sharp black eyes looking round and about. The Tom Thumbs did not dare to move. "Don't worry," whispered the dandelion. "You have a soft bed, and if you look hard, you will find honey to eat. And when the night comes, you will have dew to drink. Keep still and rest, and you will be safe." Day after day the Tom Thumbs lay hidden in the golden dandelion, whilst the three goblins kept a strict watch. The dandelion grew on its stalk and lifted the Tom Thumbs higher. And then something strange happened. It was time for the golden dandelion head to fade. The gold left it. It closed up like a bud once more, holding the Tom Thumbs safely inside. It was no longer a wide golden flower, but a rather untidy-looking dead one, tightly shut. It drooped its head so low that it hid it amongst the leaves. Still the Tom Thumbs lay hidden, because now they could not get out. What would happen to them? They didn't know. The honey was almost finished, and the dew no longer fell onto them for drink. They huddled together in the dead flower, frightened and miserable. The stalk of the dandelion grew longer and longer. How odd! But it had a reason. Yes, for the flower was turning into seed, and when that seed was ready, it must be taken up into the air on a long, long stalk, so that the wind might blow it away. Oh, clever dandelion! So it came about that one day the dead dandelion raised its head again on its long, long stalk. It stood straight up once more, and wonder of wonders! Instead of a golden head, it now had a head full of marvellous white seeds. It was a beautiful dandelion clock. And now the Tom Thumb fairies began to get excited. "Look!" they cried. "The dandelion has grown us little parachutes. Do look! There's one for each of us. We can hold on to the stalk. It's like a handle for us, and when the wind blows, the parachute of hairs will carry us far, far away from here, safe from the red goblins." But the wind did not blow them away. Someone else did. Who was that? Well, it may have been you. A little girl came down that way and saw the dandelion clock standing there, so tall and beautiful. She didn't see the three red goblins still keeping a sharp watch. She picked the dandelion clock and looked at it. "I shall blow you," she said. "I want to know the time. Now then, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Oh, it's tea time. I must hurry." She ran off, pleased to see the pretty seeds blowing in the air. But she didn't see that each one carried a Tom Thumb fairy. How surprised she would have been if she had known. The dandelion seeds flew high and far, and at last they came to the ground. They were far, far away from the red goblin's home. The Tom Thumbs took the first bus home that they could find, and now they are safe in Toadstool Town again. And at night they all lock and bolt their doors. Wasn't it lucky for them that they hid in a dandelion? And what a lovely ride they had when the little girl puffed the clock away.